Ouch. Oh, I gotta love when they kick back on you. Hey everyone, welcome back. I got this old Lawn Boy Silver Series lawnmower here that's been sitting for 15 years. Do you think I can get this thing roaring back to life? This is the model 10302. This was produced from 1994 to 1997. It's essentially the same as the 10330 model. I'm not sure what the differences are for sure, but this has the steel deck, single speed, self-propelled Tecumseh 4-cycle engine. This is the 4.5 horse. Now, some of the features that come along with this thing, as you can see on the floor when I went and tipped it over here, it comes with the Decon rat pellet package. I'm sure I'm going to find plenty of that up underneath the blower shroud. This is a 4-cycle engine, and it is a single-speed self-propelled. You got your control mechanism right here. You can control your speed with it. Someone took and put the high-performance duct tape cable clamp holder on this. All right, now I know you guys are probably thinking, well, why are we working on something like this? You know, that's not old. True, this is not as old as some of the stuff that we normally work on this channel, but you know, a lot of people like these old lawn boys here. And you know, they're usually a decent money maker once you get them all fixed up and going. You know, I can sell these and get a pretty good price out of these. So the first thing that we're going to do is going to get this blower shroud out and get all that Decon mouse pellets out of it for starters. So if we start this thing up, that don't go blowing all over my shop. Don't need that, right? Know what I mean? So some of the common issues with these lawn boys right here that we're going to face getting this up and running again. Now, for starters, Lawn Boy is no longer in business anymore. They were acquired by the Toro Company in 1989, and you can still get some parts for these, and fortunately a lot of the Toro parts are interchangeable with these. But the one big problem out there is the Tecumseh engine. Tecumseh went out of business in 2008, 2009, somewhere around there, and it's getting harder and harder to find some of these Tecumseh parts. So yeah, whenever I get some of these old lawnmowers in, got Tecumseh engines in them, I part them out and I save those things because they're going to be like gold someday. Well, maybe, because I know a lot of people don't like Tecumsehs, but I think they're a good engine if you know how to work on them. Start by taking this shroud out. So I got a few of these lawn boys out back that we'll be getting up and getting run here on the channel, and I even got some out back that are 2-cycle engines now, everyone. So you don't see a whole lot of those around anymore. So yeah, we'll get to those eventually. But this one right here, I haven't quite made up my mind yet. You know, if I'll just stick it out in the shop for sale with some other stuff I got, or if it's one of those things. Maybe I'll take and put it on a boat and send it out on the bay and sell it. They sell pretty good on there as well, too. Now, I know I'm going to catch a lot of flack for some people out there that say, yeah, just take that Tecumseh engine out and put a Briggs on them because Tecumseh are no good. Well, let me ask you this question here. Let's think about this. Hear me out for a minute. Hey, that's kind of cool. Check that out. No way. The pull rope end broke on this. And instead of someone putting a rope handle on it like they should have, well, it might be too short, right? They took and they tied another rope onto this one with a piece of wood. That's some pretty good ingenuity there, ain't it? Anyway. Now, as I was saying about Tecumseh engine, a lot of people say that they're junk. Well, let me ask you this. Tecumseh was around... Oh, geez, when did they go and start business? If someone knows the exact date on this, leave a comment down below because I know I'm going to get it wrong. I don't honestly remember what that date is. I want to say Tecumseh started in the 30s, if I'm correct. I don't know the exact date, but they went out of business in 2008. So assuming they started out in the 30s, okay? Well, that's 70 years in business, give or take. Now, don't you think if Tecumseh built a bad motor, don't you think they would have went out of business a long time before that? So, it's like I tell people, if you're working on a Tecumseh engine, you can't work on them like they're a Briggs & Stratton engine because they're totally different. I mean, the carbs are different on, the ignition systems are different. And the one key thing that I like about Tecumseh engines is they have an oil pump in them, where Briggs & Stratton, they don't have an oil pump in them. They got a slinger. I mean, granted, the Briggs & Stratton engines, they lasted a long time, but I just think it's better that these have that oil pump in them. Runs around the camshaft. Boy, there's a lot of decon rat poison around this thing. Some problems we're going to face with this thing, I can tell you right now, getting this up and getting running. I'm sure the carburetor is all full of crap from sitting, so we're going to have to go through the carburetor. These cables are going to be frozen up on it, so we're going to have to try to get these loose. We're going to have to flush the gas tank out on it, and we'll probably have to replace the fuel line on it. So we're probably going to be doing some pretty general maintenance here and a rebuild on the carburetor. Hey, another thing on that Simplicity, we just got up and running here last week. I left a comment on the video. I said, hey, did anybody pick up on a new tool that I was using that I've never used in any of my videos? Well, I guess no one got that. No one said anything. I was using my new lawnmower snowblower lift here, as I'm using right now, that I built. Hey, if you might be just checking this channel out here for the first time, you dig this lift here, I'll put a link up at the video at the end of this channel where I built this thing and how I did it, if you want to check that out. Got to get this gas tank loose on here. Ugh. Holy cow. Yeah, all underneath that blower shroud's all full of rat decon. Once I get that pulled off there, you'll see. Get these blower shrouds off these engines here. You got 4 bolts. You got 2 up here in front. And you got 2 little ones up here. All right, we ready? Ooh, and there, look at all that decon up there. Well, the motor's not set up on this, so that's always a good sign to start out with. And as you can see down there, it does got some oil in it, so that's good. Now, what I'm going to do next here is I want to take and degrease and clean all this stuff out of here really good before we start digging in the stuff. So I'm going to soak this down here with some degreaser and we'll wash this. Now, my go-to degreaser I use all the time here in the shop is this Zep Industrial Purple degreaser. I buy this in 5-gallon containers like this. You can get this right on Amazon. I'll put a link for this stuff in the description if you'd like to check this out. Now, I'm not endorsed or affiliated by Zep products in any way, but I'm the type of person, if something works really good, I'll tell you, and if it sucks, I'll tell you. Now, this Zep product, something else too, they even got these spray bottles you can get to put that stuff in. Well, because I buy bigger volumes, I buy these, but you can use these spray bottles for anything. If you'd like some good spray bottles for different cleaners, I'll put a link for the bottles in the description too. You can get these right on Amazon as well. But as I was saying, I've tried just about every type of degreaser out there, and out of all ones I've used, this stuff has just been amazing. And this is the stuff I mean, I probably go through 10 gallons of this stuff a year. I even use this stuff on degreasing my engines on my old farm out tractors. That's how good it is. I took and put a little cap here in the oil. Since we pulled the dipstick out, we don't need that degreasing crap running down the engine that don't belong there. But yeah, we'll get this all cleaned down and soaked really good here, and you'll see how good this stuff actually works. In fact, I'll just spray the whole body down like this. We'll let her soak. All right, I'm going to let this Zep soak here for about 15 minutes. It'll be a few seconds for you guys, but I'll take and rinse this off and you'll see our results with this. All right, I'm back. It's been 15 minutes. Let's give her a rinse here and see how she looks. Usually I use my pressure washer, but I'm not going to use my pressure washer inside the shop. You see all the gunk and grime coming right off this guy. There. How you like that? Now it's all said and done. Let's go over this thing with some Dawn dish soap and rinse her off, and she'll look pretty good. Alright, now first part of this order of operations we're going to get rid of this monkey business right here where they retied this rope onto the pull rope. Get rid of that. See, it's a good thing too, when I built this rack I made this a diamond plate so water and stuff can drip up and it don't get the bed all dirty and plugged up with dirt. That was another idea I had in mind, so I could wash stuff off like this. But yeah, I got this little T-handle here. I'll take this, slide this through here, tie this up, so we got a pull rope again. I can't believe someone did that. But again, I have seen all kinds of crazy things in this line of business that people do. Alright. Alrighty. Recoil works as it should, so we'll go ahead and put this guy back down. So what do you think, y'all? Should I take and try put some gas in this thing and see if this thing will start out and just assume the carburetor is going to be good, or what? Think we all give it a shot? I mean, I very well could do that, but I just don't think that's going to work out for us. See, now this is another reason besides getting all that rat pellets out from underneath that blower shroud. I wanted to pull this just in case there is grass buildup underneath of it. That way if this thing does start up and run, we don't take a chance on overheating it, and that would not be a good thing. Take a look inside our gas tank here. You guys all see down in there? Looks pretty clean. Don't see anything crawling out after us. Go in here with my little stick light and see if I see anything in there. Well, some little fragments in there, but these have a screen that are inside the tank. I think at the very least I'll take the blow gun and blow that out real good. There we go. That's a little bit better. I feel a little bit better about that. Alright. So have we made a decision yet? What should we go with? Should we hit this thing with some laughing gas and she'll start up? Or just go ahead and pull the carburetor off of it and go through it? We know it's going to be dirty. Has to be after 15 years, right? Know what I mean? Let's hit it with some laughing gas and just see if it'll sputter at us. Well, first of all, we gotta make sure the cable... Ooh. We gotta get the cable mechanism loose on this thing first. That might be a problem. So our brake cable here is all froze up on it, so we gotta carefully try to get this thing worked loose in here and not break it. Yep, this is one of the constraints. Okay, so it's loose here, so it's the cable we gotta contend with. I had a feeling this could be a problem with it. I'm gonna have to probably take this cable off of it and work it back and forth in order to make this happen. And I'm going to try not to break this thing. Because being lawn boy, who knows how long it would take to get this thing. You know what I mean? See, what I'm doing here is I'm moving this bar back, brake back, so I can get a pair of needle nose in here on that cooling fin. to stop it from coming forward. Take tension off this like so. So I can get this cable out of there like that. And I can carefully work with it and get this cable loose again. And I'm having my doubts on it right now because I see there's a part right here in the cable that's been kinked. That's from someone folding the handlebars down when they haul it. That's one thing I wish they would stop doing on these lawnmowers. Don't make it so you can fold the handlebars down, because you fold the handlebars down, that's what screws the cables up on them, because people aren't careful with them. All right. There's our cable. I'm going to take this over here in the vise and see if I can pull on it back and forth and work on it and get her to free up a little bit. And if I have success, I'll come back and put her on. Let's get this cable put back on here. So we got a working cable once again. Got to screw my end back on the cable where I lubed it up. Put this on here. Alright. Alrighty. How about that? Now our cable works. Yeah, it might run. I don't know if we didn't check and see if this thing has spark yet, did we? Well, if it don't start, we'll check it. How's that sound? I'm just going to spray some liquid wrench inside that cylinder and work it around so it's not dry. That'll be enough. Work that around in there good. Alright. Plug's kind of wet, so we better dry that off. All right, put this back in there and give her a whirl. She's trying to start. Alright, try her again. Take this thing off the lift for a minute. Try this again. And it keeps kicking. Almost like the timing's off on. I wonder if it's got a split flywheel key on it, the way it's kicking back on me. Very good chance it does. Well, try it again. Ouch! All right. So what I believe is going on here right now, the way this is snapping back and ripping the cord out of my hand, is I wonder if it's got a sheared flywheel key on this and the timing's out of it. Well, it's getting late out here. I'll let this sit tonight. We'll come back tomorrow and pull this back off and see if we got a sheared flywheel key on this. So we're back working on this. After pulling on this, I about ripped my finger off. I got the shroud off on this, and I made a discovery. Look at the starter hub on here. Now, you see how that tang is sticking up side on this surface right here? It should be dropped right down below that. And if you can see, that hub is even crooked on there. So it's a good possibility maybe they hit something with this and sheared that key. So we'll go ahead and pop this off here and see if we got a split key. I'm using a brass mallet on that, by the way, so no worries. one's on there a ways too. And that one's really on there. There we go. Here's our key. Well, that key doesn't look bad on it. They are an offset key, but there's some couple marks up there on top. That's the thing with these Tecumseh well, maybe. So the thing with these Tecumseh flywheels, they get tweaked just a little bit and it throws the timing off on them. I don't think the flywheel keys they use on these were a great design. So, you know, look here. I'll go look and see if I got a new one put on here. We'll replace it. Now this is your flywheel key part number if you're replacing this. Tecumseh 611004. I get these right through Rotary. I get them in 10 packs. There's your 10 pack number up there, 23-8953. Now there is a possibility there wasn't nothing wrong with this older key. It looked okay to me, but being this far, I'm not going to put this back together without a new one. That'd be this foolish. Like that. At least this way I know the machine's in time. There we go, that's a little bit better. See? I use my brass hammer and I'm sticking that flywheel nut back on there, no problem. See? I know what I'm talking about. Now there's two other possibilities it could be why it was yanking out of my hand. It's possible maybe there was some oil in the valve train area on the side cover plate that was binding it up, or some in the cylinder, but I don't believe that right now because when I was pulling the rope over, it had oil in it. It would shoot oil out of the spark plug hole, in which it was not. And the penetrating oil I spray in there is really thin, a thin property, so it's not so easily as compressed as like engine oil is. So I don't believe it's that. Or possibly, well, this would have an automatic compression release in it, so it's possible the valves are out of adjustment. So we'll put everything back down on here and see what we get next, right? Okay, got all that bolted back down. Well, let's try going back to the drawing board again, see if this thing will start. See if it pulls any different now. There's definitely a catch in this thing. It almost acts like it does have maybe a sticky valve in it. Well, let me see something here. Open that throttle up on it and see if that helps. All right. Yesterday it acted like it wanted to start. It's trying to cough. You see a little smoke come out of the exhaust pipe. All right. Well, that's the closest we've been. All right. Well, I did a little more further investigating on this. And I found something. I checked the blade. If it was loose, I just rocked it up and down. But one thing I didn't do was I didn't give her a spin. Check this out. I'm grabbing the flywheel. Look how that blade is spinning around on that crankshaft. So that would cause it to do what it's doing. Yeah, I didn't give this a second thought on this. Usually if a blade's loose, you can rock it up and down, but yeah, I suppose they can be loose on there as well. Let's see. Oh, whoops. Okay. Yeah, that would make sense on this guy, why it does that. This has got a tapered, it has a tapered adapter that goes on here. It goes onto the crankshaft. That's why. That makes sense now. Alright, well, no worries. We'll just take and put this back on here, and we'll just give it the what for and tighten it up. See, this is kind of a... See, that blade has to lock on there. There we go. All right. Now let's see what it does. There. That felt and sounded a lot better. Yeah, I can't believe that's what it was. That was a sneaky one, wasn't it? But hey, we got it figured out. Well, should we be a rebel now and dump gas in this thing and see if it'll run on gas? I'm sure the carburetor's dirty, but it's either going to do two things. It's either going to start up and run, and that would be a miracle alone, or I'm going to put gas in it, and the float's going to be stuck in it, and it's going to start dripping out of the carburetor. It's flip of a coin. Let's see what happens. Here's the part that can be interesting. That should be enough. Well, let's see if the primer is working. That's hard to believe. Ooh, it's picking up fuel. All right. Try this again. No frickin' way. I can't believe that. I can't believe this thing just started up and runs like that. Well, wait a minute. The gas tank wasn't dirty in it. Could it be maybe they drained the tank and everything out of it? I don't know. I think we ought to pull the float bowl on this just to verify that. I just can't believe. The guy told me this thing had been sitting for 15 years. There ain't no way. I'm not buying that. We're going to pull that float bowl down just to see what it looks like. I just cannot believe it would, it's this easy, Some of the other ones we got up and running, they were a fight, even worse than this. So, but however, that blade being loose on there, that is my fault. I'll take ownership and responsibility of that. Yeah, I'm just having a hard time. That fuel line is definitely hard. I just cannot believe this thing would fire up and run like that after all that time. They must have drained the carburetor on. It's the only thing I can figure. See, it's that fuel line so hard, it's not wanting to shut the fuel supply off. Get some vice grips. There we go. Let's pull this off. Now, if this thing was sitting for 15 years, why was it parked? Is another question I have. Well, that bowl does not look bad at all in there, does it? They had to drain this thing. I mean, even the carburetor don't look bad here. I mean, the bowl gasket, that's hard to be expected, but it's clean. Wow. That is definitely one for the books right there. Well, I think what I'll do, I'll quick clean this out a little bit right here and put it back together, and we'll fire it up again. This O-ring is, it's hard, but I've definitely seen worse. So I'm just going to replace the O-ring here. There you go, that gasket goes on just like so. And the bowl gasket. Just like that. But something I think I should do on this is, oh, that fuel line. It's not very good, is it? I'm going to replace that fuel line on it. Yeah, there's definitely a mystery on this. Look at this fuel line, just how hard this fuel line is. It's even split on the end there. And one of the clamps broke when I took it off the carburetor side. So the question is, was this thing really sitting for 15 years, or was it more like 10? I mean, the guy could have been mistaken. I got it from what he told me. But yeah, this is a good one. Or did it really set for 15 years and, well, they just took care of it like you're supposed to and drained all the gas out of it, and who knows, maybe it just sat for so long they ended up getting a new lawnmower and kind of forgot about it. You know, that's an answer I don't have. I'll put this fuel line on. Now let's think about this. You know, some of the ones that you saw we did on this channel, gotten them up and gotten running again, some of them were a fight. And really, this wasn't awful. I mean, the main part, I should have paid a little more closer attention to that blade on the bottom. Some of these lawnmowers had that taper fit blade adapter. I didn't even give that a thought when I was seeing the blade was loose on it. So apparently the shake method don't always work, right? All right. I just can't believe this thing starts up and runs as nice as it does. Let's take and set this guy back down again and fire it up. The self-propelled ain't working on it. That might be just a belt. Just pop that cover off. Looks like the tension's off on it. I'll quick try adjusting this real quick and see if that takes care of that. Adjust the tension right here on this cable for that drive. This is kind of funny how they got this. Oh, that's very tight there. They got this hooked on here wrong. Up here, it's got to go underneath that bracket. Oh, it goes like that. It goes on the back side. Alrighty, now we can tighten this thing up. Ooh. Well, I have a feeling this cable might be broke. Got this hillbilly cable tie on here. And you can see right there where that cable is kinked on it. That's not helping matters. Well, let's see if I can just get this adjusted. I just want to see if that self-propelled works. That's all I'm looking for right here. Yeah. It's going to need a cable on it. That cable is shot. Nope. The cable snaps back the minute you squeeze it. Yeah. Ultimately, we're probably looking at a new cable and a new belt, to be perfectly honest with you on this, to make this work like it should. Well, this was certainly a little adventure on this little Lawn Boy Silver series now, wasn't it? Yeah, I'm not entirely convinced that this thing has been sitting as long as I was told. It's possible the people who owned it, maybe they did their diligence and winterized it and drained all the gas out of it and out of the carburetor for storing it. And maybe they parked it because the self-propelled is out of it like it is right now, and all it needs is a cable and a belt. But yeah, well, I'll go ahead and I'll fix that and this thing and get this all up and ready to go, and it'll be a nice little mower when it's all said and done. But yeah, it's definitely a mystery when you saw it come in. I mean, it had rat pellets inside of it. What do you think the story is behind this mower? Why it was parked for so long? Until next time, thanks for joining us in this little adventure, and we'll see you in our next video. Take care, everyone.